Hi everyone, Sean here from Attack Panic. I want to spend some time discussing habituation. Given that anxiety conditions are nothing more than a bad habit, a learned pattern of behaviour, this is going to be a very important lesson for you. You must understand that an anxiety condition is nothing more than a bad habit, a learnt behaviour through operant conditioning. It developed just like any other habit, and you can remove it just like any other habit. Understanding the principles around habituation will help you to put things into perspective when things don't seem to be going your way, and give you the faith and courage to keep going if or when the going gets tough. When you embark on a new program of learning, a new skill, discipline or habit, like starting a new diet or learning to play a musical instrument or even riding a bike,
do you expect immediate results? Do you expect to master the skill or discipline in an instant?
Of course not. Learning something new will take time. Then why do we expect immediate results when it comes to overcoming our anxious condition? It is because our fear of the intrusive and uncomfortable sensations. We want them gone now, and we don't want to face and push through the fear. When learning a new habit, like dieting or changing a golf swing, for example, our old habits or programming will be fighting for our attention, trying to stay alive. This is because we are creatures of habit, and it is very easy to fall back into the old grooves of the mind. And most of us are also resistant to change. So we have to push through the initial stages of resistance and practice and persevere with our new skill, ignoring all the initial urges and temptations to fall back to our old habits. Sooner or later, through persistence and perseverance, the new skill or habit will be formed, replacing the old one. Now, this is hard enough with learning any normal habit, but when it comes to building a new habit based around facing your fears, it can be even harder to push through. You find yourself at the start resisting change, and you will find it very difficult and scary doing what you have to do to build the desired habit. At the start, your old habit will be fighting very hard for your attention, and because we're dealing with fear, we can be reluctant to do the work required, and we want results now.
When learning a new habit, there will invariably be setbacks. You may even go backwards. There may be injuries, moments of doubt, loss of motivation, belief and confidence, stagnation, challenges, successes and failures. You accept and expect your old habits to fight for attention. You accept that you need to practice and persevere. You accept that to maintain your skill level, you have to constantly practice and persevere, and that if you don't, you will slip backwards. You accept that you need constant exposure to the skill or discipline that you are trying to learn or master.
This awareness gives you perspective and helps you to maintain your persistence and dedication to practice. Sure, you get frustrated and disillusioned from time to time, but you persevere, you practice, and you stick with the program, and eventually it gets easier and easier. Through operant conditioning, you have built new neural pathways and associations in the brain, and a new habit is formed. Here are what I consider to be the most important foundations to building a habit or learning a new skill. I have discussed your why previously. However, this matter is of such importance that it deserves further discussion. Your success in learning your new habit lies in the why or the reason you are putting yourself through the pain or struggle. If you have a near-death experience or suffered a massive stroke or heart attack, for example, you realize just how lucky you are to be alive. If your heart attack, for example, is due to your lifestyle changes, such as obesity, smoking, or stressful working conditions, then you will have to make some habitual changes if you want to avoid a premature death. In light of this wake-up call, it is pretty easy to develop a pretty compelling why you should change your lifestyle and why you are willing to do what you have to do to stay alive. If you are an anxiety sufferer, you must develop a strong why you are willing to do whatever it is that you need to do to heal yourself. Without it, you will lose motivation as the old anxious behaviour constantly beats at your door. Cultivate a strong why and do not open the door. At the height of my suffering, I was housebound and jobless, and I had 2 wonderful children to feed. Because my situation was so bad, it wasn't that hard to develop a compelling why I had to do something, and why I was willing to do whatever it took to heal myself. Maybe you are suffering as bad as I did. If so, embrace the situation, accept it, and use it to fuel your why you're willing to change. Be grateful for this opportunity to heal yourself and get your life back. Maybe your situation isn't as bad, and maybe your suffering isn't restricting your life to the same degree, but bad enough for you to read my book. If that is the case, use my experiences as a compelling why you're willing to break your anxious habitual cycle now before things get too bad. A meaningful vision of the future is one of the golden rules for removing underlying high anxiety from your life and is covered in Building Blocks 4, Module 5. For the purposes of our discussion on habituation, you must have a clear vision of what you will achieve through learning the new skill or habit. Whether you are learning to drive, ride a bike, or play the guitar, you must have a clear vision of what you want to achieve. Cultivate your vision of an anxiety-free, panic-free future and don't ever let it go. This is pretty self-explanatory, but you need to have belief, first in yourself that you can do this, you can break your old anxious habit, and second, you must have belief in the program or system that you are implementing to bring about change. Without belief in yourself or the program, you will quickly run out of puff and give up at the first sign of struggle or setback. The purpose of Building Blocks 1 and Building Blocks 2 is to build up your understanding and belief in the truth behind anxiety conditions, belief in yourself, and belief in me as your teacher. What does faith mean for you? Do you associate it with religion or spirituality? For me, faith has a much wider application. Faith is about absolute trust, whether it be in myself, someone else, or something. Trust that if I do this, I will get this result, without question or doubt whatsoever. Now, the 2 other elements that make faith so powerful are belief in yourself, and in this case, my building blocks, and perseverance. Faith is the backbone of courage and confidence. If you can cultivate faith in yourself and in my program, you will easily face your fears and do whatever it takes to build new, non-anxious, habitual behaviour. Can you learn to ride a bike without actually jumping on one? If you are overweight and want to lose some unwanted pounds, can you achieve it by not eating a healthy diet or not doing more exercise? If you want to learn how to play the guitar, can you do it by playing Guitar Hero on PS3 or Xbox? Can you learn any skill or habit for that matter without actually practicing the very skill or habit for which you are trying to learn? Enough said. There is no way around it. You need to expose yourself to the skill you are trying to learn. Not only that, but the more you expose yourself, the longer you expose yourself, and the more intense your exposure is, the sooner you master the skill or habit. To overcome panic attacks and phobias, you have no choice other than to expose yourself to that which you perceive as fear. There is no way around it. You must expose yourself to your fears for long enough and frequently enough, using the right tools and attitude of course, to allow your mind and body to work out that there is no danger and that the emergency response can stand down. You must commit 100% to doing the work required of you in Building Blocks 3 and Building Blocks 4. A half-hearted, half-assed attempt or attitude will create frustration and doubt, which will result in more anxiety and more fear, yielding the opposite to what you want to achieve. It's all or nothing. Do this or don't. There is no in between. You will most probably be uncertain, doubtful, afraid, not really sure how you will react and handle this work at the start. That's fine. I had the same feelings too. I was scared, but I did it anyway. That's faith, that's courage, and that's 100% commitment. If I can do it, so can you. You have no choice if you want to heal yourself. You simply cannot learn anything new without exposure to it. Everything has already been worked out for you. All you have to do is follow the instructions outlined in Building Blocks 3 and Building Blocks 4. To become proficient at any skill or habit, you will have to work through all the hard times and setbacks that will inevitably come along. Battle with injuries, fatigue, boredom, motivation, and self-doubt. But to be any good, to reach your goal, you must be 100% committed. Your success will be in direct proportion to your commitment to practice and also your perseverance. Repetition is the mother of all skills. The more you practice, the easier the habit becomes. Persevere with your practice. Maintain your vision, belief, and faith in yourself and my building blocks. Be 100% committed and be willing to do whatever it is asked of you and whatever it takes. And finally, be scared, but do it anyway. That's courage.
When you stop running from fear, fear stops running you.
Like I said earlier, make a conscious decision to do this or not do this. If you decide to do this, then no matter what happens, just do what is outlined in Building Blocks 3 and or Building Blocks 4, whichever is applicable to you. Take one step at a time and don't look back. Burn all your bridges behind you. Practice and persevere.
Remember, don't try to do this. Trying is a noisy way of saying no. Trying is like taking the scenic route to nowhere, and you will get there very fast. Any half-hearted attempts to form a new habit will be quickly swallowed up by your old habits. Don't give it a go and see what happens, hoping to get immediate results, and then when you don't, you say, "This doesn't work," and give up to your old habits. You may get immediate results, or you may not. That's not important. The important thing is that you faithfully stick to the work you have to do.
Setbacks and challenges when forming any new skill or habits are guaranteed. You now understand this, so don't be surprised if or when they turn up on your doorstep. Embrace them, accept them, and then let them go and get on with your work.
If you start something, see it through, even if the heavens fall. If you make your mind up to do something, do it. Let nothing, no one interfere. The I in you has determined. The thing is settled. The die is cast. There is no longer any argument.